Okay, let me give myself some applause. Hey y'all, I know it's been a while. The last time I went live was for Transgender Day of Visibility when I did a live just talking about the struggles of being Black, trans, and unemployed in the South. Um, Special shout out to my special guest, Mikael, who was able to join me. We were able to talk about our experiences. I apologize for being away for so long. Life has just been wearing me out. I've also tried to squeeze some traveling in between there. So with traveling and just trying to get my mental health together, I haven't been on the best place to like sit on here to do like long form breakdowns and analyses. And I know I stopped doing my recaps of Chasing Atlanta season 7, although I still continue to watch. I really wasn't able in the space to sit down and do recaps, but I am here. Tomorrow, part 1 of the season reunion comes out. So I wanted to just do this video to just kind of do a roundup of everybody. I'm going to go through the cast individual by individual and just give my breakdown of each cast member, how I think their performance was before we get into the reunion. But overall, I think this was a really, really, really good season of Chasing Atlanta. This was a really good season. This was a really great way to come back, to reboot. So congratulations to Andario and the Chasing Atlanta production team. Y'all did your big one. And as I always say with these reviews, everything is in love. This is not meant to be individual attacks. I am solely just judging what I am seeing on the screen. So we are going to get started. Also, I'm live on TikTok. So if you on my TikTok page, please feel free to jump over there. Although you will not get the benefit of seeing any of the graphics, but I am on TikTok. Also, I ordered some food. So if I step away, I got to go to the door to get my food. I'm also in the process of moving. So I just have a lot of I got a lot of things going on, y'all. But we're going to keep it together. I'm going to get through it. Where do I want to go? Okay. Okay. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday before we get started? How's everybody doing on this Tuesday? I don't want to share screen. Okay. Let's go here. I'm going to use no. I think this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Please bear with me, y'all. Let me see. I want to use. Let's go back to the beginning. Let me see if I can find the season 7 cast pictures. I think I'm going to use their reunion pictures. The reunion pictures came out really lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm going to keep those for the. I'm going to keep those for the. When I review the reunion. Okay. Yes, bitch. Okay. Yes. So who do I want to start with first? Well, let's start with the 2 anchors. Okay, I want to start here. Okay, before we get into the breakdown, as far as the season, on Dario and Co. I feel like we could have used one or maybe two extra episodes after the Miami episode. It kind of felt like the season kind of the ending was rushed, and I kind of felt like I wanted to see after the gang got back from Miami. It just felt like it was a lot of storylines that were left unresolved, and I would have liked to see um, another like group setting, another party, bringing Althea back into the mix, because it was no, she was obviously missing from the shenanigans in Miami, and I just kind of felt like there wasn't I felt like the ending was rushed. And usually, how y'all have done it before, even if y'all have had like a cash trip towards the end, there's some type of regrounding in the home city, and it kind of felt like there was a lot left unfinished. So I would have liked to see one extra episode, maybe two extra episodes after the Miami trip to kind of bring some of those storylines together. So that kind of felt rushed. That's my only main critique with how the season ended. But like I said before, other than that, great season, great reboot. I'm definitely curious, or I'm definitely bought in to watching another season, because I want to, depending on who you all keep around, I definitely want to see how some of these storylines evolve and how they expand. Okay, so let's go to my individual breakdowns for people. Let's go here. Okay. Let's start. We're going to start with the anchor. So when this reboot season first was announced to come back, there were only two returning cast members from season 6. We have Dominique, who is I can't remember. So there's a term in reality ensemble shows, vet and OG. I think OG is the people who are there since season 1, and then a vet is somebody that is not necessarily there for season 1, but they've done like a long enough tenure on the show. I believe, and I'm talking, I have to talk this out so I make sure I'm not using the terms wrong. I believe Neek, also known as Dominique, is a vet. Dominique came in season 4 and has been a main cast member from season 4 to season 7. Dominique, this was an okay season for you. You definitely were the glue that held everybody together. You were the anchor. You kind of got into some drama in the end. And again, this is why I felt like those last back 2 episodes were necessary, because I just wanted to know, like, when you and K Star got into it as a viewer, it just kind of felt like the aggression kind of came out of nowhere. And I would just like to know if there was some backstory. But overall, this was a okay season for you. You weren't involved in a lot of drama. You didn't get attacked this season, like you have in previous season. But overall, I think this was a good season for you. We got to see the elevation of your business, your dog grooming business. We got to see you participate in local events. We got to see your new love interest. We've been following you. We know you came into the series with a long-term partner, and then we saw the breakup of your relationship during the last season of Chasing Atlanta, season 6. So it was nice to see that you're moving on with your life in all different aspects. And also you were able to kind of really be an anchor for the group and hold the group together. I would be interested in you coming back for another season. You just have a fun personality. You're nice to look at. I like your style. And you just seem like a very fun person in the mix. And we need that as part of the cast. And this was overall a really, really great, a light season for you. And sometimes you need people, especially like vets and OGs who've been there a while. Every season can't be a heavy season. Some seasons you have to have a lighter season, and I feel like this was that for you. So loved you this season. Definitely have to. I definitely want to see you back for a season 8. So shout out to you, Dominique. I'm looking forward to your performance on the reunion. So let's go to the next anchor, Mother Tony. Mother Tony. So a little background about Mother Tony. Mother Tony, I wouldn't say that she is a vet yet. Maybe if she comes back for season 8, we could consider Mother Tony Bryce a vet. Mother Tony is this was her second season. Her debut season was Chasing Atlanta season 6. We all saw how chaotic that was, and that first season, she didn't really have a bad first season, her debut season, but we really didn't get to. She kind of got lost in the crowd because there were so many other things going on, just other feuds within the cast, other dramatic points. So as a viewer, I didn't really get a return of investment for Tony on season 6. But it was nice that she was able to come back and able to just be a presence in season 7. I loved her. I loved her this season. I felt like we got to see a little more of her. Of course, we know she's an actress, and we know she's out on the grind. But also, we got to see the other side to her. Her engaging in her HIV advocacy work. Just the different events that she was able to curate, and also her pulling us into events that happen outside of Atlanta. We got to see her do work in Australia. Did she do something in London? Tony was very much the cosmopolitan girl, and Tony was in the mix in the drama a little bit during the season. She had the misunderstanding with Nova at the beginning regarding the ball. They were able to squash that. And she was able to Tony was able to kind of be the person in the group that would say what I as the viewer was thinking. I'm specifically thinking about when she left Q's party early because Q took too long to come. I'm also thinking about in Miami when she left early because she felt like conversations weren't being had. And yeah, I like Tony's presence. I felt like for her second season, we got to see a little more. Also, we got to see Tony's family. Her sister had the baby shower, so we got to see more of her family life. So overall, I was pleased with Tony's performance this season. If Tony was to come back, I would want to see more. Now, I've been watching the TTBs and stuff like that, and I know Tony. People were asking would they want to see Tony's love life, and she was just saying how hard it is. I think it would be. I think you shouldn't shy away from that, sis. I think you should bring us into the Tony Bryce dating experience, even if it doesn't work. I just want to see more of you. I want to see more of you. I'm invested. And I just feel like there's a lot of space. There's a lot of places that your story could probably go. And I would just encourage you, sister to sister, is don't be scared to show the messy side. And I think it will be cute for you because from what I do know of you, you are a very very traditional, like courting type of girl. And I feel like people need to see that. And girl, you never know who's watching the show. So your next husband might be on the show. I don't know, but Miss Tony, great job. Great job. And I also like how you really took your role as an anchor this season very seriously. You wanted to alleviate conflict. You wanted to get the people together. You also nudge like hard conversations. And yeah, I would like to see Tony come back. I want to see more. I want to see more. I feel like this was the first season that you should have received, that you should have gotten, that you didn't get to have. But it's all right. I definitely want to see more. And congratulations to you on a great season 7, sis. Okay. Now that we are out of the anchors, okay. So let's talk about Sammy. Sammy. This is so everybody else that I'm talking about. It's going to be all of these people. This is their debut season. Season 7 is their debut season. Hey, Rose B, honey, how are you doing? Thank you for all of the roses and the likes. I appreciate you. Um, this is everybody's debut season. So Sammy Austin is such a cutie. This was his debut season. Sammy is a musician. Sammy is a spouse. For your debut season, Sammy, I liked you. I liked you. I really liked you. This is Chasing Atlanta. So the name of the game is you have to be doing something, particularly in the creative or business fields. I felt like you checked those boxes. Great artist, great performer, great point of view, great personal style. Love to see it. You also let us into your private life. We got to see your husband. Also, a lot of the events or a lot of the conversations were held in your home. You have a beautiful home. You check all of the boxes. Like you are the type of person that I'm sure when they do the casting calls for these type of shows, Sammy is the type of person that you want to have a part of the show. So I live for the fact that you had something going on, that you were so open. Also, we got to see more of your family dynamic. If you were to come back for another season, um, I would like to see if you could get more into your family dynamic, because I remember in one of the episodes you were talking about how you feel like you're the black sheep of your family. Your family may not support you because you are openly queer or you're married to another man. You and your sister kind of alluded to that, so I would like to see that dynamic kind of play out more. My only critique that I have with Sammy, um, I kind of felt like I wanted you to, I don't know, I don't want to be like more of a shit starter, because I kind of felt like you would have conversations in your separate scenes, but then when you came back into the group, from my perspective, it didn't feel like you didn't kind of come with the same energy in the group setting, with the same energy that you had when you were having like side scenes with people when you were talking about different situations. So if you were to come back for season 8, I kind of want to see you own it and just stand on it and just let the chips fall where they're may. But overall, you are fun. You are a fun person. It seems like you got along with everybody, whether you were with one group or whether you with another group. You were just great to see on screen, and I would love to see you come back for a season 8. Um, I would love to see you come back for a season 8. I would just, as far as the group dynamic, I want you to feel comfortable to come on like stronger. Because I felt like you had a lot of opinions, and I felt like there were times where you did not agree with stuff, and I felt like the group deserved to hear that. But ultimately, I think overall you had a really great debut season, and I would love to see you come back again. Y'all, I'm going to take a quick break. My food is here, so I'll be back in like 1 minute. Please give me a. Okay, I am back. Okay, so let's go to the next person. Quentin. Okay. Okay. Let's start with the positives. Quentin, Q, um, great addition to the cast. So Quentin is a stylist based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I really, 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 really like Quentin. I like Q's storyline. I feel like out of everybody, out of the debut cast, let me go back before I pull Quentin up. Out of this debut cast, I would say that the person is two people that is contending for um, being in charge of the girls. For me, this is just my opinion. It's the for the debut cast, it's between Q and Althea. I feel like I'm not gonna say breakout stars because I feel like breakout stars, there are catchphrases, there are things that were said. I don't I wouldn't I wouldn't attribute breakout stars to Q and Althea. I would say my breakout star for somebody else in the cast. But I feel like out of the debut cast members, Q was the most had the most well-rounded story of the particular season as it was produced. Why do I say this? Again, Q is somebody that fits all of the hallmarks of a cast member of a person that you're looking for when you're casting for the show. Q is a professional. Q works with celebrities. Q is driven. Q has personal stories, has personal dramas going on. Q was not afraid to share it. I felt like I got to know Q a lot during the season, the good and the bad. One of the moments that will stick out for me from this season when I think of this season was when Q talking about being arrested, and then just the way that he was able to explain what he went through when he was arrested, and him being sexually assaulted, and him just having to fight the case, and it was just very vulnerable. It was very human, and it's just something that stuck with me and endeared me to Q. But we also have to talk about the messy side. So towards the end of the season, we saw the I want to say fight, but the confrontation between Q and Tremel, and then towards the end there was the confrontation slash fight, if you want to call it a fight, between Q and K Star. Um, while I'm not mad at Q for speaking his mind and saying how he feel, it does seem like there is an anger problem going on that is concerning me as a viewer, and just concerning for me. I'm concerned for him as a person because I'm a girl from Baltimore. I love a Benji concept. I love a little violence every now and then. But when you are somebody that is working towards things and you have things to lose, you kind of have to have that self control, and also you just have to pick and choose what fights that you want to engage in. And towards the back half of the season, I don't think the fights or the elevation of the arguments, particularly with Tramel and K Star, were like necessary. And then when you threw the shoe with the house and it ended up hitting Nova, and it just seemed like you let your anger take you somewhere that you really didn't need to go. But as far as a character type and for your storyline, it gave me a fuller picture of you. And I would love to see you come back for season 8. I would love to see you come back for season 8. I would like to see how your business has elevated. I would love to see how you have processed everything that you went through in regards to your jail experience. What's the status of your case? How are you handling, being a survivor? And also, I would just like to see the evolution of your position within this group. And also, I did like the fact that even though you were not afraid to go into conflict, you also weren't afraid to kind of pull it together and come back to the group and kind of get to a place where you could just film and be around the people. And And I think that's important, particularly for shows like this where they are ensemble. Like it's okay to have feuds, it's okay to get into it, but at some point, there has to be some type of tacit or implicit agreement that at some level we're just going to come back together because we are a package deal and we just got to get through the season and get through the show. But Quentin, out of my opinion, had the best story package to me. And I really enjoyed watching Q's story this season. Let's go on to the next person. Y'all know I'm going to go to her, but I'm going to save her for last. Okay. Let me go to this person because I think this person is going to be quick for me to do. Okay. Noelle. While I feel like Q and Althea are like top tier for best storyline, best while I feel like Q and Althea are top tier for me as far as season 7. The breakout star for me for this season was Noelle. Y'all know when I was reviewing the episodes the first half of the season, it was just something about Noelle that drew me to him. The voice, the sense of humor, the personal style. I just like Noelle and I want to see more of Noelle. I just loved Noelle a part of this group. Every time Noelle had a scene, it was a breath of fresh air. I just really, 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 really like Noelle. I really, really, really want Noelle to come back to season 8. It looks like Noelle is going to be turning shit up on this reunion. To me, the breakout star of this season is Noelle. And no shade, I wouldn't be mad if they kind of built season 8 around Noelle. Now, let me say where Noelle was lacking because I can be a real bitch. Noelle, while I really like Noelle's personality and I want more, I felt like we got a little glimpse into Noelle's life, but I'm left wanting more. Like, so we got to see Noelle go on a date. I think it needs to be unpacked, just like how Noelle shows up and the type of men that he dates, because Noelle is very like non-traditional in a lot of ways, and I think that perspective of like I'm this gay man and I'm gender non-conforming and I'm femme, but I like my man to be femme and he can be a femme top. Like I feel like more people need to see that. More of those stereotypes need to be broken, and I just think it could be very impactful. I know Noelle did music, but I don't really feel like Noelle's like, at least from my perspective, I don't feel like Noelle's particular I don't feel like his music career was kind of played up. I feel like Noelle was really like the comedic relief during the season, and that was kind of played up and was kind of like it was the comedic relief. But ultimately, I feel like Noelle was the breakout star of the season, and Noelle has to come back. Noelle has to come back. Also, Noelle, no matter what was going on, Noelle was always down to be a part of the group. Noelle was ready to work through conflict. It was the situation with Noelle and Tramel in the beginning of the season. And towards the back half of the season, Noelle was willing to participate in reconciliatory conversations. And it's just so necessary. I love Noelle. And no, it's just something different. I love a bitch that is confident in whatever they are selling to the people. So I really, really, really love Noelle. I really want to see more of Noelle. I would love to see Noelle cross over into other shows. So I would love to see a Noelle cameo on the next season of Chasing Dallas. I would love to see a Noelle cameo on the upcoming season of Chasing LA. Like I want to see it. I want more. So yes, Noelle, Noelle, Noelle. To me, in my personal opinion, Noelle was the breakout star of the season. And I feel like there's so many directions that you could go with Noelle's storyline. So love Noelle. Great season for you. Let me go to the next person. Okay, let's go here. Okay, let's go to Kendall. Kendall is interesting. Kendall is interesting. Where do I start at? Let me start here. I think Kendall was an amazing, was a great casting choice for Chasing Atlanta for this season. Um, Noel, I mean not Noel. Kendall does music. Um, Kendall is luxury. Kendall has the things. Kendall has a beautiful home. Kendall was able to kind of house a lot of things. Also, Kendall had a personal storyline. We got the episode where we got to go on the journey of Kendall, doing the surrogacy journey. So we got personal story for from Kendall. I think where for me as a viewer, where Kendall kind of missed the mark for me is I felt like there was an opportunity for Kendall to show more of his heart, but for whatever reason, he did not do that. And instead of doing that, he kind of retreated, and it kind of gave a mean girl energy. What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about mainly Kendall's biggest conflict was his feud with Tremel regarding not being invited to Kendall's birthday party and just the fallout that happened from that. And then was Kendall into it with somebody else? I can't particularly remember, but I felt like there was an opportunity for Kendall to kind of rise to the occasion and just really give the real of, okay, why did Tremel saying this thing or doing this thing, like, what is the real reason that this plucked you or this got on your nerves? And I just felt like instead of getting to that, it ultimately gave shade. It ultimately gave shade, and we just never got any resolution. Also, there was kind of this thing with Kendall and K Star, but ultimately they fixed it and they were able to get back on track. But I just feel like with Kendall, I'm left wanting more in the sense that I don't really felt like I got to the depth of like who you are as a person and like really what is the reason beyond what you're telling us that's making you react in these ways? Yeah, I kind of felt like Kendall was guarded. And I think if Kendall was to come back and do another season, I would want to learn more about Kendall's upbringing, their background. Like, what did Kendall have to go to be the luxury girl that she is now? Because no shade, honestly, sometimes the way the Kendall, and let me say this, Kendall showed a lot professional wise. Kendall is a musician. Kendall has the hairline. So like, don't get me wrong. Kendall gave a lot this season. Kendall gave a lot this season. So I'm not going to take that away. But I feel like there was like this humanity slash motivation piece that was missing that I wanted to see as a viewer from Kendall. And I definitely think Kendall should come back because I felt like Kendall was necessary to a lot of the storylines and a lot of the feuds. And I feel like Kendall was like a major part of like the faction. But yeah, I felt like Kendall was holding back. And I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I see a lot of like hurt in Kendall, and I sense a lot of mistrust. And I feel like if we were able to get a backstory of like who Kendall is and how did we get to like the rich bitch that we see today. Because honestly, how I perceive it, I see it as like I see like the luxury things and like having all of these things, and I see that as an armor. And I just want to know more. I just want to see more. And I just felt like Ken definitely should come back. But my advice to Ken is to not be afraid to be vulnerable and not to be afraid to show us like how you became this girl. So then it will make sense. But overall, I feel like Ken had a good season. But like I said, Ken would not be number one for me because I just saw some deficiencies, and those are things that can be easily fixed if Ken comes back for another season. But overall, I like Ken. I just would like to see some different things from Ken. Let's go to this next person. Okay, so let's go to the OG, not OGs to chasing reality, but OGs to reality television. Tremel. So Tremel, I first became aware of Tremel. I was a G status ATL hustle watcher. Tremel was definitely a OG on there season one, and I believe Tremel came back for season two. I believe Tremel came back for season two. I feel like this was a really so. Let me back it up. So this is the second time that we've had somebody from another popular ATL web series platform transition from G status to chasing Atlanta. The first time that we had this happen was back in season 5. I believe Ike was also no, I think Ike was season 2 G status ATL hustle, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But Ike originally came from G status ATL hustle, came on season 5. So Tremel is the second person that has come from G status ATL hustle to Chasing Atlanta as a full-time cast member. So when the news was broken, it was a big deal. Tremel is a singer. Tremel is also a social media personality, mainly by doing reviews on YouTube. And the first time, I think Tremel's first season on G status ATL hustle, Tremel got a bad rap because Tremel was grouped in with, I can't remember his name, but he was also another boy who sung, who had the ear piercings like right here. I think he got the short end of the stick because that particular boy was the villain of that season, and because Tremel was cool with him or friends with him and kind of had like a nonchalant, blase attitude, Tremel got grouped in with him, although I don't feel like Tremel was as necessarily as problematic as that child was, and I can't remember his name. So when Tremel came here, a lot of people were happy for Tremel, but I feel like Tremel had a lot working against him because, from my perspective, I feel like people feel like Tremel is above it. Tremel is better than the girls, and Tremel really don't have time for it. Overall, I feel like this was a good season for, given everything that was kind of against Tremel coming into the show. I feel like this was a great showing for Tremel. First of all, I identify with Tremel. I feel like Tremel and I are around the same age. I believe Tremel is like 38, 39. I'm 37. And it's just a certain level of, when you get to that age, it's just a certain level of, I know who I am, I know what I like, I know what I'm going to stand for, I know what I'm not going to stand for, and also I'm not doing a whole bunch of convincing. We either cool, or we cool and we fuck with each other, and if we don't, we don't. And I felt like that's what we got from Tremel during the season, and I feel like a lot of people were mad at Tremel, and I'm particularly thinking of the conflict between Tremel and the Kendall. I feel like a lot of people didn't like Tremel because Tremel was not doing a whole bunch of explaining. Like, Tremel was going to, in a group scene, Tremel was going to break down the issue with context one time, and y'all could, we were either going to come to an agreement or we were not. And I felt like with Tremel, what you see is what you got. And I felt like a lot of the younger cast, they wanted to argue and go back and forth, but Tremel really wasn't on that. And as somebody that is in similar age to Tremel, I get it. I definitely got it. I felt like Tremel, this is the most that since I've been watching Tremel particularly on web reality series. This is the most I've ever seen Tremel show. So Tremel did a single album release party. We got to see Tremel's music. We got to see Tremel rehearse. We got to see Tremel perform. Uh, I felt like Tremel got to show everything that he needed to show. I don't see Tremel as a villain. I just see Tremel as somebody that's seasoned and that just knows who he is, and that is not really here to entertain the shenanigans or the foolishness. And I totally get it. I felt like Tremel got the short end of the stick because Tremel is best friends with K Star, and K Star is like a firecracker. So anything that K Star does is automatically going to be attributed to Tremel, and they're seen as part of a package deal. And I feel like that could only impact your view of Tremel if you're coming from like an immature mindset. I felt like Tremel in this season, even though he is associated with K Star and that's his best friend, I felt like Tremel was able to stand on his own. I also like the fact that Tremel, when the group kind of did fracture, Tremel was there to be a support to Althea. Tremel also tried to, cultivate a relationship with Nova. Tremel was, when the group started to fracture, Tremel really served the purpose of being there to kind of fill in the gaps, so that people weren't like left out on the island by themselves. And I would love to see Tremel come back for another season. I would love to. I'm aware that Tremel has a boyfriend or a partner. I would love to see that on the next season. I would love to see more of Tremel's family dynamic. I like Tremel on this season, and I feel like we need. People try to shit on like people who are older, but you need, like, everybody can't be a firecracker. Everybody can't be going off. Everybody can't be shady. We need people that are going to be grounded, people that are not afraid to have confrontational conversations, but to have them in a way where the ultimate goal is to not have resolve. And I felt like even if Tremel wasn't the best received, Tremel came to the situation with this, from what I've seen, with the spirit of resolution. I mean, we need that, and I definitely will love Tremel to come back for the next season of Chasing Atlanta. So yeah, I really enjoyed Tremel. Let's go to the next person. Okay, so the next OG, Carl, aka K Star. Oh my god. Okay. So I remember when Carl was casted, I'm not gonna say why Carl was casted, because I think we all know why Carl was cast. So when we think about people that check the boxes for a Chasing franchise show, Carl checks the boxes. Carl is a creative. Carl makes music. Carl is present in the web reality critique community. Carl has his own web reality show. And also, Carl is confrontational. Carl is a firecracker. And also, what I will say is throughout the season, Carl did everything that I thought he was going to do. Carl made it hot. Carl was confrontational. I did see a side to Carl that Carl or K Star was willing to have conversations with people. But Carl came and did what needed to be done. My critique of Carl, and if Carl or K Star decides to come back for another season, sometimes I felt like when it came to the confrontation, I felt like K Star was too obvious. And I feel like sometimes K Star jumped the gun in certain situations where the gun did not need to be jumped. Like it like sometimes it would go from 0 to 100, and there wasn't like a natural build up of the confrontation. So it kind of felt like, as a viewer, it kind of felt overproduced. and like it didn't feel natural, it didn't feel organic. And I'm thinking of two particular times. The first situation where Carl was introduced at Kendall's house when they were all wearing the wigs. It just, you could just tell that K Star was intentionally trying to press the button to get a reaction, and it just did. It just felt like, as the audience, we were in on what was happening, and I didn't want to be in. I wanted stuff to naturally happen, and then it happened again towards the end of the season when they were in Miami, where it kind of felt like they were just fighting just to fight, and it wasn't like a real legit reason on why they were fighting. So my critique, if K Star is invited to come back for season 8, I don't want to say dial it down, because I do like K Star's personality. I do like that we don't know what we're going to get necessarily when we see K Star. But my advice is just let the conflict naturally happen. Just like let it naturally like, you don't have. Now, if the production was telling you to do this, then I can't fault you. But it kind of, it gave plant, like, it was just too obvious, and then it elevated certain situations that did not need to be elevated. And it, like, I want to see conflict, but I want to see resolve. And sometimes it would just go too far off the rails that we couldn't get back, and you could tell they had to end the scene. And then the way that K Star was carrying on in that restaurant, like, it was uncomfortable to watch. Like, it was just uncomfortable, and not respectability politics. It was uncomfortable to watch, because it's like, what is the point of this happening right here, right now, at this loud ass restaurant where I really can't hear you? So I don't know. It just felt like, I don't. It just felt, it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel organic. Also, I will add that I know K Star came like later into the production. I would like to get to know more about K Star's life, because I want to like K Star. K Star was one of them people that, if I saw K Star at the party, I feel like me and K Star were kiki. Like, I like K Star. I think the goal is, I want to like K Star, but sometimes the shenanigans, it makes you not want to like them, and it makes you not want to let your guard down with them. So I want to see more of K Star's family. I want to see more of K Star's, like, organic friendship with Tramel outside of the shenanigans. But I will say that K Star did, there was a return on investment, because K Star did spark some stuff, and K Star was at the center of a lot of stuff. But my critique is, sometimes it didn't always make sense, if that makes any sense. But overall, this was a great debut season for K Star. I would love to see K Star come back to another season of Chasing Atlanta. But if K Star comes back, I just want to see levels. So if K Star comes back next season, for me as a viewer, you don't have to come in on 10. Like, I just want to see levels and just the variations in K Star's personality. And I just want to see different aspects to K Star on this particular platform. But shout out to the OGs from other platforms. K Star was not from G Status, but K Star did a web series called Web Life. I believe K Star did another web series, and K Star has done some acting. And then K Star wasn't a friend of the show, but K Star was associated with Rico Cassadine, because they used to be really close. And Rico Cassadine was a cast member on seasons 5 and 6 of Chasing Atlanta. But but those are my only critiques about K Star. All right, so let's go. Okay, so these are the last two. Let's go to my second person who I feel like had a great showing. The only thing that kept them out of the top spot for me, and why Quentin or Q took the top spot for me, is I felt like, because we didn't get those, like, that last episode after Miami, or like an additional 2 episodes, I kind of felt like we didn't close Althea's storyline in a way that could have tied up the loose ends for her before the reunion, since she did not come on the Miami trip. I felt like had we would have got like one or two more Chasing Atlanta episodes a season, she would have been neck and neck with Quentin, and or would have been number one for Quentin over me. But overall, I felt like Althea had an amazing debut season. The first cis woman to be a part of this cast. She did her big one. She was definitely memorable and impactful. Definitely checks the boxes that we're looking for the Chasing franchise. Is a creative, is pursuing her storyline. Also is another thing that she did not do, which I feel like if she would have did it, it would have boosted her up to the top. She had a Althea is that girl. And I feel like the girls need to pay attention and take notes, because if Althea fixes a couple things, if Althea is invited back for season 8, I feel like Althea could come back and be in charge of the girls. I feel like she could be in charge of the girls. Althea showed us vulnerability, bitch. Althea, she came in, she's a mother. The biggest conflict that happened with Althea is between Althea and Nova. Of course, it was the conflict in them. As I said when I was first reviewing the show towards the beginning of the season, I don't believe Althea started the conflict. Now, I feel like Althea did some weird stuff after the conflict, and I'm pretty sure that my sister Dominique will has already addressed these things in the reunion, and we'll see it. So asking Nova, "Are you still transitioning? Bitch, you tried it. You tried it. That was a try." And just little stuff, little petty stuff that happens once it's obvious that this bitch don't like me, and we're at it. We're at each other. But overall, I felt like Althea was a contender because she had conflict. She was honest about her struggles as a single mother, her struggles as somebody that gave up her job and lost her job, being honest about why she could not come to the cast trip because she didn't have anybody to watch her child, money issues. Also, following her, kind of removing her from the group and then trying to come back to the group and just dealing with a lot of the conversations about this. Is she I don't think they called it a grifter. I think they phrased it as, is she trying to like use the LGBT community but not really fuck with the LGBT community? And I felt like she was really vulnerable. I'm thinking about the episode where she was with Sharmell and Sammy, and I feel like somebody else was there, and she started crying because she was just like, I'm just trying to find my way. I'm trying to find my footing. And I think we got a level of vulnerability for her that I wish we would have got from Nova, that we just never got. But we got a level of vulnerability from her, and she was willing, even though I feel like Nova was just being phony with her. I feel like Althea was she was always open to a level of repair, a level of reconciliation. Again, that I think you need when you're on an ensemble show, because yes, it's about you, but ultimately it's about the group and how the group moves together, how the group navigates together. And despite the hiccup that happened, I feel like Althea showed that she is a team player. What I think would have taken Althea to the next level, and this is anybody that comes on, and I can speak about this as somebody that is like unemployed, and I have to keep a budget, but money can be funny. I want the people that come on these shows to get comfortable, not only just talking about their struggle, like showing their struggle. Like, I need a scene with you in the kitchen making a thing of oodles and noodles. Like, I need to I need to let's get you on camera, going to apply for some stamps. Let's get you on camera, on the phone, haggling. I can't pay this. I can't pay the 400 this month, but I can put 20 on it this month and I can pay. It's like I want the girls to lean into the struggle and show the struggle. It's nothing to be ashamed about. In 2026, bitch, we are all struggling. Everybody's acting like they got it, but we all are having to make hard decisions that we've never had to make before to survive. And I think on this show, there's nothing wrong with showing it. It's nice to show that some people have it and some people can be fab, but with other people, you could have it today and it's gone tomorrow, but you still have to figure out how to make it work and also figure out how to feed your passions and feed your creativity while you're also trying to make your money. And I feel like so many times on the show, we've had people that have had housing insecurity, people that have lost their jobs, and like people just fall away from the spotlight. And I get it because it's embarrassing. It's a lot of shame with that. But I feel like if you're going to be on the show and this is a reality show, and people are asking like where are you, where have you been, we need to see that, like we need to see that, show that to us. And I felt like that would have show. And for her, if you can't find a sitter for your like, show us the struggle of it. Like I don't want to hear about it no more. I want to see it. So I felt like if we would have had that piece on there, that would have taken her to the next level. But overall, she did give us a lot. The look was fab. Nobody looks like her. The reunion look was fab. I think I was going to do a reunion look thing, but I think part one comes out tomorrow. I'm going to try to either go live tomorrow, or I don't have anything on my calendar for Thursday. I can go live doing my review on Thursday, and then we can do and that's also why I didn't want to do the reunion looks. I wanted to save that for the reunion. But ultimately, Althea had an amazing debut season. Very memorable, very striking physically, very compelling story. If she comes back for another season, I want to see her get more comfortable with the group. I want to see what relationships, I just want to see how the relationships develop, how the relationships grow. And I want to see Althea for another season. I want to see how she moves within this group. But I feel like Althea, given how she performs at the reunion, I feel like we'll be seeing Althea again for another season. Okay. So let's get to the last person. Nova. Before I really get into this, I want to say I'm going to do this in love. I don't want no issues with nobody. And the goal is for there to be growth, for there to be improvement. Also, I don't want to pile down on her because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are piling down on this lady, but I feel like it's lots and lots of opportunities for growth. Y'all know when I was reviewing the show at the beginning of the season, I was very critical of Nova and her performance on the show. I feel like now that the season is over, I don't feel like I feel like Nova. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like Nova should not have been casted for the season. And I say that because I feel that she did not. I don't feel like she brought anything to the season. I don't feel like she brought anything to the season. I don't feel like there was I feel like there was a chase to check the box of her writing this book, but I don't feel like it was a real chase, y'all. I don't feel like it was a chase. I feel like at some point she wanted to be a part of the group, but I don't feel that she had the skills or the spirit to resolve conflict. I feel like she was easily offended by everything. And yeah, I don't feel like coming out of the season, I don't feel like I know anything about her. I don't feel like there's anything that she gave to us that wants me to see her win. And I really feel like she wasted this opportunity that could have went to somebody else that would have had a more compelling story to tell, that would have had a more compelling product to sell to people. I just feel like it's a waste of opportunity. I feel, this is my opinion. I don't know this to be fact. I feel that we have somebody that is still very new in their transition, somebody that is still finding themselves, somebody that has a voice but doesn't necessarily know how to use the voice. And it's just unfortunate that yeah, we weren't everything that I was shown of Nova. I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan. I feel like there was an opportunity to really, particularly the storyline, the bigger picture of the storyline of showing breakdown between a trans woman and a cis woman, just the breakdown, but also having the conflict resolution. Because I feel like the thing that caused Nova and Althea conflict, from my vantage point, it was not this big thing that should have led to this physical confrontation that led to the season long feud. It really wasn't. It was a misunderstanding. It was a misunderstanding. And I feel like, because I feel like Nova has this skewed perception of how people relate to her, and it makes her overreact to stuff that really was. And also, I feel like Nova started with Althea, because you were the one that threw it to her with the bacterial vaginosis thing, and then it escalated from, well, it escalated, meaning Nova escalated it, because it went from that to then when they were sitting at the couch, you were saying who has the worst style or who can't dress, and then the thing about the baby father, and then okay, y'all had the fight. I felt like there was multiple times for y'all to bury the hatchet, and Althea, even though Althea did throw it to you, Althea at multiple points showed that she really didn't have an issue with you, and that she wanted to bury the hatchet, but at every turn you were just resistant. You were resistant, you were combative, and then there was some stuff that I saw as anti-black that came out, but I'll wait for it to be addressed at the reunion. Um, but yeah, I just felt like, yeah, I don't feel like you were ready for this season, but I also don't feel like you are ready for reality TV. Cause I feel like you kind of have to know who you are to kind of know what it is that you want to give to the show, what you want to give to this group. And I just felt like you gave nothing. You weren't really to go through the process to get to a resolution. And I just feel like it was just a missed opportunity on so many levels. And most of your scenes like revolved around you doubling down on poor choices that you made, in my personal opinion. So I child, TikTok is doing shows. I Now, I'm not somebody that is advocating for an opportunity to be taken away from you, but I just don't really see the point of you coming back for season 8. I just don't. I don't. I don't. And I also, beyond like the shade and the all of that, I don't feel like I know any more or any less about you. I don't. I don't. I want to like you, but you just didn't come off as likable during this. I think you're a very beautiful girl, a very pretty girl, but it's just there's a lot left to be desired when it comes to growth. And I don't have confidence that if you came back for another season, that you will be showing us like anything that's new or any like no shade is nothing for you to continue into next season because you really didn't show us that much. Like I think you talked about your book one time, and then other than that, you really like. I mean, you were ready to go to the party and go to the group settings, but other than that, we just really didn't get that much for you. And I want all my girls to win, and I just hate that this opportunity was wasted. I really do. Um, I just felt like I just feel like this opportunity was wasted. We could have gotten more from you, and we could have. I felt like there were so many times for you to like open up more, be vulnerable, tell us about your upbringing. How did you even get to Atlanta? What was your like? I just felt like there were particularly when they had the interview session with Twan, you just kind of doubled down and just went into your shell. And then when you got to Miami, it just seemed like you were anything. You were just looking for to have an issue with anything. And as a viewer, I just didn't connect. I just didn't connect at all. I hope you do grow, and I identify that because I remember in the initial parts of my transition and just like being fearful of everybody or everything being an issue or taking everything personally. And I definitely get it. Like I have definitely sat where you are in life right now, but I also know that some things just come with life experience, and I just don't think that you are at that point or have that yet. Like girl, you was ready to fight with everybody, especially other women on the show, and to me that's very telling. That's very telling, because you had the initial and I wouldn't call it a feud, but it was potential for a conflict with you and Tony. I was able to fix that, and then the thing with Althea just lasted all season. And then you said the thing, this is why I can't do cis woman and da 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 da. And I get it. I get why you could have that mindset, but you gonna have to figure out how to work through that because whether cis or trans, it's a coalition that we as women have to be a part of, and the cis women that get it. But when it comes time and you go through shit and you need an ally, it's going to be the women that are going to rally for you and have your back because it's just certain things that we understand as women and that you go through. But again, you won't understand it until you go through those life experiences. But a lot of the things that you were saying, especially in conflict, I'm like, okay, this is a girl that's young in her transition. She doesn't get it yet, and I hope that she does get it. I don't necessarily know if this platform is the best for you because you just seemed really shut down. You seemed really guarded, and yeah, this was not a good season for you, sis. This was not a good season for you. But I do want the best for you, and if you happen to come back next season, I would love to see the growth. Like even with you being an author, there could have been scenes with you getting together with other authors, workshopping your book, going to a black writers conference, or you don't identify as black. I'm pretty sure there's some Latina women's writers like we didn't if you writing this book is your hustle, we really didn't get an insight to how you were trying to elevate yourself or like what industry you are a part of that's helping you to create this product. It just seemed like something to come up with to just for the fact of saying this is my thing, this is what I'm doing. So yeah, girl, but this was not a good season for you, mama. It was not a good season for you. But if you come back, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna watch. I'll definitely be watching, and I'm hoping for growth. But again, I'm curious to see what this reunion performance is going to give. And so, child, we'll see. We'll see what happens at the reunion. Let me see if I have anything else that I want to talk about. Let's stop the share. I look a mess, but we don't care. Okay. So, yay, let's get on here. Before I get off on here, I'm going to share The trailer from the reunion, part one, premieres tomorrow, hosted by my sister, Dominique Morgan. Congrats to you. I was so happy when you told me before you filmed it that you were going to do it. I was very excited. And let's go to the reunion trailer. And I think I will end the video here. But overall, before I get there, see, like I said before, season 7, amazing season, amazing reboot. After the chaos of season 6, and I'm looking forward to a season 7. I'm looking forward to a girl trip type of thing, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, y'all. But let's go back to Instagram, IG. Okay. And then let me turn the sound up. Okay. So let's watch the trailer for the Chasing Atlanta reunion hosted by Dominique Morgan.
And honey. Come on, let's do that.
Wednesday is about to be a hit.
You said you want to be the anchor. You're still not. Tramel tried to go and say, I'm dividing the group.
Because as soon as you sent that,
I said, let y'all talk.
and moment so shocking, you won't believe what you're watching.
Take your ass out there and tell them books, bitch.
Imagine
I am your host, the People's Auntie, Dominique Morgan.
getting all the way down into the tea.
Do you feel like the cast showed up for you the way they could have? We are going to talk about these colorist comments.
The secrets that were never supposed to come out.
Was searching for the mugshot.
Your whole concern is how trans women are represented on TV.
Somebody should have said something.
Ken moves like a mean femme queen. I'm telling you the truth.
We all got on red boots. We know how the red boots go.
That's my fucking dick, bitch.
Bitch, I'm not gonna play with you.
You're about to have a time.
Don't miss the Chasing Atlanta Season 7 review Wednesday at 8. Only on Chasing Reality. You gotta watch it live.
So y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here. Part 1 of the reunion comes out tomorrow at 8 Eastern time. So we'll be watching this. I'm not going to go live Wednesday because I'm pretty sure there are going to be panels and stuff. And if Chasing Reality does a after show, I definitely want to go up on there and give my 2 cents. So happy about that. And then, like I said, I'm going to try to do a review on Thursday. But yes, congratulations to the Chasing Reality family, the Chasing Reality team. Also on Thursday, I would say I'm gonna do it now, but I really want to go to the park and go walking around to clear my mind. But I also want to do a reaction video to the cast reveal of Chasing LA. I'm excited that show is coming back. I have to be honest, I did not watch season 2. Season 2 was all over the place, but I am excited that franchise got a reboot. I'm familiar with some of the new people that are coming on, so we can have conversations about that. But it's a lot of great TV on YouTube. Shout out to the Chasing Reality family. Thank you all for being with me and welcoming me back. I'm happy to be back. And I also want to do a live. I want to talk about the U.S. I got to get into my legal bag. The U.S. Department of Justice last week announced that they have indicted the what is the name of that damn organization? The Southern Poverty Law Center, a big social justice organization. I have tried to get hired there so many fucking times and to no avail, but it is what it is. I guess the universe is blocking me from getting hired there now that they're going through this. But they got indicted last week, and I'm going to do a deep dive and read through the indictment documents. And also, this should raise the alarm for all social justice organizations, how the current administration is weaponizing the federal government to come after organizations that are trying to do work to restore the balance. And just I just want to read through the indictment documents, and we can all do that together. But this is all that I have for now. Thank you for welcoming me back. If you're just watching this right now, you can watch the replay on my YouTube page. Go to AeonEsq 88. That is my name on YouTube. That's where the lives will be housed. And please like the video, share the video. Comment, let me know what you think about Chasing Atlanta season 7. And I will see y'all back here to review Chasing Atlanta season 7 reunion part 1 on Thursday. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.